Morning everybody, video diary, Tuesday the 20th of December. I am still in hospital after having my Achilles tendon had reconstructive surgery on it following a rupture back in March. Yeah, I'm still here, which probably tells you it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. Really relieved it's over. Hadn't appreciated at all how scared I was going to be, and I didn't go down till 5:45 last night. So yeah, I hadn't eaten since 7 the night before, or drank since that morning. It was just a busy day. I mean, the staff were, completely superb, really lovely. It's just the nature of the beast, really. But I hadn't anticipated, if I'm honest, being so scared. I've never actually had surgery, not proper surgery. I mean, I've had 3 kids, but I've never been ill. I've been really blessed. I've always been incredibly fit and healthy. Actually, I did my rupture playing squash. So it was a really tough day yesterday. And I think it is coming out today in terms of the tears, which for anybody that knows, well, you may or may not know, but Buddhists, their faith really encourages tears and water. Well, it's the water that it finds really soothing, because water is a cleanser, and water can help us effectively, cleanse and clean ourselves and allow things to flow. It's a similar thing to the Chinese philosophy of faith. I'm not quite sure what you call it, Taoism, which is all about water and Mother Nature and allowing things to flow. And so I think yesterday it was very fear-based, my energy, and actually the thing that got me through, because I had to wait a long time, the thing that got me through was actually my spiritual and philosophical beliefs, really, and just, God, it was a massive experiment in just surrendering and trusting. There's nothing else I could do, which was trust the people that were going to do this and just surrender to however it was going to be. And that did really, really help, that spiritual concept of, putting down the action. We talk about, going with the flow. It's a very Taoism concept, going with the flow. Water is the softest substance but can erode the hardest of rocks, right? And yesterday I was definitely flowing over a few rocks. So trust and surrender were the order of the day, but it was hard when I got down to the, up to the anaesthetics room to go to theatre. The water started then, I was crying then. And yeah, the stuff was just superb, my God. When we were, talk about, I was so vulnerable yesterday, and the need, the absolute primal need I had for that reassurance from that human connection was just, and human connection actually with strangers. The anaesthetist was a stranger, the nurses were strangers, the consultant's really a stranger. And we call people strangers we don't know, but they're not really strangers. We're all human beings. They have a vocation, and they just connected, very deeply, very quickly. And I'm hugely appreciative of that. I was really poorly when I came round. It was they had achieved what they wanted to, but at a cost. So it was a little bit harder. So obviously, it's like anything when you pull your body around. Actually, I remember giving birth. I mean, one of my kids was 11. I get this right because my husband always pulls me up. 11, 3 pounds and 3/4 ounces. Not, I always say 11 pound 4 to round it up, but yeah, I'm exaggerating. And I remember after that labour being, my body just I couldn't walk. I was shaking. It's very similar to that. I think it's, I don't know if everyone's read the book The Body Keeps Count. It's the trauma, really. So I think it's the combination of the mental. God, I was scared. I don't really know. I was scared of the unknown. I wasn't scared of like dying or anything bad. It was just scared of the unknown, and it's quite a big deal messing with your body. I just think these things are pissy, but we're messing with the body, and that's a big deal because we kind of rely on our body, right? That's what means we're alive. So yeah, so they kept me in last night. to get I had a block, and also I had everything actually. I had a lot of painkillers when I came around from the op, because I was in a lot of pain. The block is still in place. So when I say block, the medical block, that basically means I can't feel my leg at the minute. So I am a little bit nervous about this afternoon when that wears off, if I'm honest, because the pain last night was rough. The block hadn't quite kicked in when I came around, and I think because I've been so long without food and water, I just felt really rough. But again, the staff were fantastic. They put me on some oxygen, gave me lots of painkillers, kept checking in on me, and I just slept. And I'm feeling a lot better this morning, although, God, I'm tired, and I'm just really still shaking. And I think there's still another kind of level of trust and surrender to go, which is, how this is going to feel this afternoon when the block wears off. That's the next milestone, and coping and making sure I'm on top of my pain relief. And then, you can see in the water stage, can't you? How I'm tearing. I think it's really important actually when we feel like this. This is very often what comes out when we're feeling so vulnerable, is to allow it to come out. It's really, really important, because I think having had a good cry this morning, I will feel enormously better. And then the next milestone after pain management for me is getting home and getting my head around what I can and can't do. I think I'm actually going to borrow a wheelchair. I was quite bravado about all this, I thought, oh, I'll just be able to go home and crack on. But I'm not sure that's quite going to be the case, so I might need to borrow a wheelchair. I mean, I have got crutches because I'm on my weight bearing, but the good news is it's a short, sharp shock, because I'm only on weight bearing and plaster for 2 weeks, and then hopefully I can go into a boot. So I think I've got a few days ahead of it being a bit rough. But actually the recovery time, because they have managed to do it the way they wanted to, is far, far quicker. So it's, short-term pain for long-term gain, basically. So, yeah, I think probably I hadn't quite appreciated, I don't think I'd appreciated actually, what it is like having any kind of surgery. I mean, obviously some surgeries are far more serious than others, but I think any kind of surgery is, and I think it's just the way it is. We are slicing and dicing, cutting into ourselves. My goodness, this hospitals, most healthcare settings are where we go when we are at our most vulnerable. And that is priceless, having the people in those settings with a level of compassion and patience, and ability to connect with you in that vulnerable state is so important, absolutely so important. And I've always believed that so strongly, but I've never been in the position myself. I've never been in the person in the hospital by myself, apart from giving birth. So this is a real experience and lesson for me in how it feels. And I thought I was hugely empathetic and compassionate with the work I do as a soul midwife, which is working at an emotional support level with people at end of life care. But I think this experience really brings it home. I'm not comparing myself to somebody at end of life. That's not what I'm doing. I think what I'm doing is being in a bed, being vulnerable, being completely dependent on other people is a whole different ballgame. And having this experience, I think my eyes have a lot wider to open. My eyes will never be fully open to it until I'm in that position myself. Never. So all I can do is just give whatever compassion and love that I can to people who are in that position. But this has opened my eyes a little bit more in terms of dependency and feeling that vulnerable. So that is today's video diary on what's going on in life, and hopefully what I'm learning from it. And yeah, lots of love. Bye.